Hey guys, I hope everybody's having an amazing Thursday evening. Oh my God. For job, I'd be glad it was Thursday night because that would mean it was Friday and the weekend would be coming up. But since I work for myself and I work every day, that's not relevant. But anyway, tonight I'm here to talk to you about what's draining the profits in your business. It's the funny thing about being profitable. It's a double-edged sword. Being profitable is not just about how much money can you make. There's also an equally important side, which is how much money do you keep? And a lot of entrepreneurs will focus on how much money do they make. And a lot of people in general, because a lot of people may make $200,000-$300,000 a year at their job and they still broke. And a lot of that is because they're not a good steward over their finances, which means they don't keep track of their money. Somebody say, keep track in the chat. Because as an entrepreneur, if you track of what you're earning, you're going to look up and have to work just as hard, doubly hard in your business to be able to keep up. So I'm super excited about tonight's interview. For those of you who don't know who I am, of course, my name is Danielle Patterson Winningham. I'm a former JP Morgan Chase Vice President, Master Life and Master Business Coach. And over the last 10 years, I've focused on helping women build profitable businesses. But I only do one side of that because my lane is how much you earn. So I'm super excited to introduce the accountant officier, Miss Stearns, tonight so she can talk to you about the other side of that. A lot of people say easy come, easy go, and you don't want that to be you. So if you're wondering what's draining the profits in your business and you don't know, make sure you schedule a call with her, bit.ly/the big P. And we all know the big P stands for what? Profits. bit.ly/the big one. So good evening, Miss Stearns. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I just want to thank you, Coach Danielle, for giving me this exclusive interview and allow me to take the platform on your stage. And so, for everybody who don't know me, my name is Aisha Stearns, and I'm your Kingdom Financier. And so, small business owners hire me to help you rule and reign over your money, so you can finally show a profit in your business. And so, like Coach Danielle stated, and I'll just a little bit reiterate what she stated is that, you can make the money, but can you keep the money? And so, where I come in is that I show you how to take control of your finances and know what they're going and how to track them as well. It's this show that I see a lot, and it's called The Profit, the Profit, The Profit. And so this dude named Mark, he works with people, giving them money out of his own business. And so he helps business owners, basically show them how to be profitable and all that good stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of millionaires that he works with. And so they bring in $1 million worth of revenue. But then at the end of the day, when he looks at that bottom line, they're in the negative. And so what is that telling us? That's telling us is that either us as entrepreneurs, we're not tracking our money the proper way, or we're not spending it the proper way.
Wow, that's it in a nutshell. Let me tell you guys something. We're going to give you some tips tonight that, yeah, you can go out and try to do on your own. But I'm one of those people, if something is just not my lane, and to me, this is where experts come in, and experts are definitely worth their weight and they're worth what you pay them. And let me tell you why. While you sitting over there on an abacus trying to add up your twos and fews, you're losing money. Number one, because you don't know all the laws that apply to your money. Number two, you're not trained to do it. So your 2 plus 2 might be 5. Number three, if math is not your strong suit, then it's just not. For me, I'm a grammarian. I'm a wordsmith. I love words. Math is not my strong suit. Everything I add up is ghetto math, which means it's a combination of rounding to the next comma nothing. And I'm lucky if I come in the right ballpark. So if you know that's you, schedule a call so you can get some real information about the right way to keep your finances on track. But the first tip I want to share with you tonight is that you don't have to count on your fingers, no knees and toes. They got accounting software nowadays, and that's the number one mistake that I see entrepreneurs you making is that you trying to keep this long hand books, and you know you're not good at math anyway. So why not use a shortcut and use the accounting software, and even down to which one to use that's best for you is something you need to have a conversation about. But why aren't entrepreneurs? Why aren't more entrepreneurs using accounting software?
Well, I mean, I believe that some entrepreneurs are not using accounting software is because they're doing it maybe old school to where they're putting the pen to the paper and they're not good at math, as you say, and they're probably not using a calculator. But one thing that I have noticed is that with software, it takes the guesswork out and it does it for you. So I mean, there's many types of softwares and we're not going to talk about those particular types of softwares, but it's like we're in a place of we're being digital and we're using formulas and we're using not only spreadsheets, but also using particular softwares. So again, it's tailor made to the business in which you have and which you utilize. And so also some people don't know how to work that particular software, even though they might do the same thing, but this software does this software does that. And so knowing the specific processes and the specific direction instructions when it comes to using the proper software.
And that's super important. I think that's one of the things that you miss when you don't have an expert point of view is that you think you know what you really don't know. And it's the equivalent of baking a cake in the wrong pan. You may have all of the ingredients just right, but because you put that bundt cake recipe in a sheet cake pan, it just doesn't turn out right. And then you wondering, well, why doesn't it turn out the same as when somebody else bakes that cake? And what it boils down to is that you just didn't use the right tools. Another big mistake I see entrepreneurs making, especially, is mixing their business money. Mm-hmm. Speaking of mixing, mixing their business money with their personal money. Could you tell me why that's so dangerous?
Man, that is so dangerous. First of all, it's so dangerous. Say, for instance, you get an audit, okay, by the I to the R to the S that everybody's so much afraid of. When people like simplicity, okay, we're human beings, and you have a human being who is checking on your numbers, your books. And when you don't have your books in order, when you don't have your money separated from your personal expenses to your business expenses, they don't know which way to look for, and it can look suspicious. So guess what? That's going to cost your business even more money. It's going to drain your profits even the more because you did not take the time to separate the two. That's why they have personal checking accounts and they have business checking accounts. They have personal savings accounts. They have business savings accounts. So there's a reason why they separate the two, and they should never mix.
Here we go again. It's one of those things, guys, that you don't know what you don't know, and what you don't know is hurting you. And it's hurting your revenue. So, if you just don't want to go through that headache, that anxiety, that stress, because I don't like Iris. And she don't really like me. And you know, in the old school say, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. I'm gonna get Iris her due so she can stay away from me and I can stay away from her. But if you don't want that stress and anxiety, go ahead and schedule you a call because I can guarantee you, if you're listening to this video, that probably fits your description. And if you go ahead and get help, then not only do you not have to worry about losing money in the long run, you don't have to worry about the stress of the anxiety of just not doing it right. You know, they say the Lord look out for children and fools. So if before today you were doing it incorrectly because you didn't know any better, you were covered to a certain extent. But when you know better, you have to do better because you're no longer covered. Now you have the knowledge you need to move forward with the right strategy so you don't keep coming up with the same result. Which brings me to this whole next, guys, this whole next segment is a big deal. So many people trying to get funded for the PPP and the small business. And many of them didn't realize that your reason for not getting funded was your fault. It had a lot to do with your business financials and your business setup. And a lot of people set their businesses up incorrectly and then want to get mad when the government don't want to give them money. But that's why you have to have financials for your business, not just, you know, this is how much money is in the bank, but a P&L statement and things that show your business is doing business on a month-to-month basis. So can you tell me why do so many people skip over the whole business financials part?
I believe that some entrepreneurs skip over the business financial part is because number one, and not in this particular priority order, number one, they're probably scared. You know, they're scared that they're going to mess up or do something
Which is
wrong.
why I'm telling them to get help.
And that's the reason why, again, like we stated before, you know how to make the money, but you don't know how to manage and keep the money, you know? And so, again, that's why you hire the expert. So, not only being afraid that they're going to mess up, but also it can come to a place to where they don't know what to do, flat out. There are some business owners that don't have a CFO or don't have a bookkeeper or don't have an accountant that knows how to do all those things and put all those things in place so that you can get the PPP, you know, so that you can get the what is it, the EDIL or the E, I forgot what you call it, but you know what I'm.
Emergency money.
That
I'm
one.
just gonna call it emergency money.
Okay, the emergency money. Blooper. Anywho, and so you have to have your financials in their proper order. And so we learned this in the community is that if you don't have your papers in order, or if you don't have a particular coach that doesn't show you how to have your finances in order, you're gonna get denied.
And you know, and not just for the government money, but there's so many grant opportunities out there. There's so much startup capital, and most of it is steeped in it. Are your business financials set up correct? You know, and I just can't impress upon you enough. If you don't know, either hire someone who knows or hire someone to teach you. One of the big reasons football players and those pro athletes don't keep their money is because they don't value their money enough to have someone they trust either teach them what to look for and then somebody else to manage their money. With that level of money, you can't just go out there and hire who sounds and looks good. And that's what a lot of you guys will do. And that's why you need to schedule a call at bit.ly/the big P21 because I happen to know for a fact that she has integrity. She's not going to talk your business. There are a lot of accountants out there that be trying to encourage you to listen to their business advice, and they're not business coaches. They're supposed to guide you on the tracking of your money, not telling you how to spend your money or what to do with your money. They're only there to help you know where the cracks are. So with that being said, I hope that you guys will go schedule you a call, because it's not a one-time thing. When we talk about financials, you don't need financials when it's tax time.
Mm.
To be honest, you need financials every single month.
Mm-hmm.
And by not having those financials, you don't know if you're making money or not. Do you want to talk about that?
It is so important to, and I'm going to talk about statements, it is so important to have the particular statements, like a P&L, which is the profit and loss statements, or you have your cash flow statement, or you have your balance statement. These are three important statements in the financial industry where investors look at, or banks look at, or the grant people look at. And so it's very important to have your business finances in order, is because it gives you leverage and it gives you more opportunities. So it's telling you a story. When people look at your money and look at your statements, it's really telling a story about you and your business. It's the same thing with a credit score. The people don't know you from Adam. So when they look at your credit score, they're looking to see what type of behavior do you have, and can they trust their assets with you? Are you an asset, or are you a lot of or are you an asset, or are you a lot of liability? There you go.
You got through it, girl. You powered through it. And but that's for, however you said it, you know what you meant. Are
Yes,
you a
ma'am.
benefit or are you a risk?
Mm.
The bottom line. I know people, because they didn't have good financials, who couldn't even get a television show.
Oh, wow.
Television reached out to them, wanted to bring them on the network, give them a show. The person's financials were not in order. And the
Mm.
television said, based on that, we feel like this person would be a risk.
Mm.
There are even jobs they won't let you through the door if your financials are not in order. And the bank is one of them, because you open the bank up for a risk,
Mm-hmm.
because it wouldn't take much for somebody to blackmail you, for somebody to offer you money to do something with less integrity. So it's just super important that you realize that not having your financials in order is more costly than paying somebody to help you get your financials in order. And that's the piece that I always want you to remember. I had somebody tonight was like they couldn't afford. And I said, really, we can afford whatever it is that we really want or what we feel like we need. But when you open your mouth and say you can't afford, and you haven't even looked into it, when you open your mouth and not going to bit.ly/the big P21 and schedule a call, when you don't even know what your options are and you're saying you can't afford, you know what? You're right. If you say you can and you say you can't, you're absolutely right. And that's the last step I want to bring up tonight. Is just this whole not getting help thing. Some kind of way it's become a trend for people to run out there and try to do things that they've never done before. You have books in your business before. You ain't never even started a business. You ain't have a lemonade stand when you was growing up. You ain't never had to keep up with no business money in your life. But yet you feel like Rocky Balboa, that you could just run out there and be the champion. And that's just not true. And if you think other people are doing it by themselves, you've been lying, because she on. Hello? I'm not gonna count the beans by myself. So ask around. Ask people who's helping you with your finances, who's helping you with your money. I can promise you the people that are really successful in what they do are taking time to line up people around them that are really successful at what they do. It takes the stress off my day to day. It keeps me operating within my zone of greatness. I don't have to worry about procrastinating on the things that I hate to do because that's a human behavior. That is a natural behavior. If you hate to do something, it's going to take you forever to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit here and struggle with it. I'm going to hire somebody. I'm going to get me some help and I'm going to go figure out the money later. You want to speak on that?
You know, I believe that some entrepreneurs are afraid of not getting the actual professional help that they need. Is for the simple fact maybe they have been burnt before and not choosing the right individual in order to do their finances that has the character, but not only the character, but the integrity as well, and actually has the experience behind them and actually know what they're doing. And I believe that another reason why small business owners are not getting the help that they need is we go back to what we stated. Maybe they can't afford it. But as they say, you can't not afford it. You get what I'm saying? Because if you cannot afford it, it's going to cost you. It's going to drain you profits, which is not going to make you more profitable in your business. And like the title says right here, if you're tired of losing your profits, you need to seek the help in the guidance.
You know, I just can't tell you enough how critical it is to have, especially if you have billion-dollar aspirations, how critical it is that you have a team of individuals from day one that are helping you and advising you about your money. You know, the word says, my people perish for lack of counsel. And when your business doesn't have the right counsel, your business does die. And that is why so many small businesses don't make it, is because they don't feel like they need the help, or they don't feel like they can afford, or they don't feel like they have time to get the help. But you know, the whole world is your classroom, and you will learn so much just watching the mistakes of the people that came before you. And that's why these talented actors and actresses and these sports celebrities, the minute they stop playing, they start running into financial difficulty because they had nobody telling them, you're spending $100,000 a day and there's no way you can sustain this throughout the rest of your life. There's nobody to tell them that, you know, you're spending more money than you're bringing in. There's nobody to stop them to say, put some away for later. Don't be that person that's not getting the help you need. Go to bit.ly/thebigp21. Schedule your call today. I can vouch for her credibility. And I want to say this in closing, and then I'll turn it back over to you for your final remarks. Everybody's not the same. Have I had people that I've spent money with in the past and didn't end up with anything? Absolutely. Could I let that stop me from investing in the next person? Absolutely not. Everything you spend on your business is a deduction. So even if you spend money on somebody and they don't do what they say they're going to do, guess what you have? You have a business write-off. So for all intents and purposes, you haven't missed a dime. You haven't missed anything. Stop acting like that's your money. The government allows you. That's why they're called allowances. The government allows you a certain amount of money to build your business. Take it, invest it in professionals, and watch your money grow.
That's good. So my closing remarks is very simple and straight to the point. You know who you are as a business owner and an entrepreneur that needs financial assistance and guidance. And I am that person. Okay. So if you are tired of losing your profits, if you are tired of also not keeping more of your profits as well, and want an individual to look to see what is draining your profits, go to bit.ly/, the big P21.
Absolutely. You don't have to live in suspense as to what's going on with your money. After all, it's your money. You earned it. You work hard for that money. So you don't want it to be a easy come, easy go situation where you worked hard for all of this money and unfortunately you're unable to maintain it or sustain it because it's just getting away from you and you don't know where it's going to. We have professionals for that. Don't hesitate to get professional help. bit.ly/the big P21. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Bye.